everybody. This is my second attempt to say hello because my Feifei is a little crazy when it comes to her thinking I'm on the phone. Faye, if you are not familiar with or don't follow me on my Instagram, which is Ardently Hannah, is one of my 3 corgis, and she is a little Tasmanian devil. So if you hear her in the back, I apologize. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started because I'm thinking of this being a very chatty, talk through of my planner system currently and possibly going into the next year, which granted it's the beginning of September, so we have September, October, November, December, and then of course the next year. So it's not pressing that I figure out what I need to do for next year, but I'm just thinking ahead and thought I would just do a more long, chatty video, since I don't really do videos very often, but I'd love to get into the habit of doing so. Anyways, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, drink of choice. I have my iced coffee from Dunkin', oh my god, there's no S at the end. And I will go ahead and chat. Okay, so as of right now, I have been very consistent in one thing, and that has been my standard TN as my journaling or my memory keeping archival system. So I use undated inserts in the standard size, and so for example, this is my volume 4. Starting from end of last year to this year, I have just been journaling, and I paste in whatever ephemera I feel like. I post in photos, little tidbits, things like that, and it is so much fun. It is no pressure because, and receipts. No pressure because I can do it as often as I want or as infrequently as I want. So here I was doing it pretty much every day, but if you get towards the end, August 13, and then the next date that I do it after the 14th, August 13 through 16 was pretty decent, and then the next time is August 20th, and that's okay. These are the pages that I need to fill in with writing, but it is, again, as often as I want it or as infrequently as I want it. And that is the bulk of my journaling in my standard TN. Another way that I also do some memory keeping was in my vertical undated. So this just looks like this. It's the undated. For those of you who are curious what the blank looks like this. You put your dates at the top, and then these are timed, and I do actually use the time to some degree. I keep in mind vertically, at least, or chronologically, what happens during the day, but it doesn't necessarily have to be written on that specific hour. So the way that I use this is I go in and I first will see what big events are happening, and then I plug that in this dark black color, usually using my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip pen. And then after that, I just kind of fill it in as the day goes by. Sometimes the day is very busy with tasks, so it's a to-do list. Other times there's not much going on, but there is some tidbit that I want to remember. So I'll write it in. And this is just like a little way that I memory keep on top of the journaling entries that I do in my standard TN. So here's just a flip of some of the past weeks. And this is also a way for me to use some of my pens, or not my pens, my stickers since I don't do a ton of stickering, I don't do as much stickering here. It's mostly pictures, receipts, and ephemera. And then stickers go through here. And then, yeah. Oh, I don't know what got stuck. So I have an empty insert that I'm going to be decorating to set up for the next volume, which will be volume 5, which is insane to think that I will have probably about 5 to 6 inserts for the entire year if I'm consistent. So this has been the only consistent thing out of pretty much my planning system. Oh geez, as you can see, these are just Traveler's Notebook stickers on my cover. They're not patches, and for the most part they do stick really well, but this one is longer, so it goes towards the spine and it does curl up a little bit. But if I were to take it off, there'd be no damage. But yeah, and then this is a Superior Labor pen loop on the outside. If you are curious for anything like product wise, just let me know. I don't want to spend too much time on that since that's not really the point of the video. But if there's anything you're like, oh, what is that, feel free to ask and I will respond in the comments. But yeah, so that's my consistent journaling, memory keeping, archival system. Now, and when it comes to planning, I've been hopping around, and this is just full transparency. There is, or not transparency, is that the right word I'm looking for? Basically, this is a channel where planner hopping is not discouraged. It is not anything. Like, there's no shame in it. If you want to planner hop, right? It's based on your needs. So I have been in this year in weeks in a plotter, Bible, passport, standard TN, and B6 Slim for like maybe 2 weeks. But I've been in a lot of sizes, and that's okay. You know, certain times in my life is kind of crazy, but you know, certain periods in my life were called for certain things, and that's what I lean towards. So right now I'm in a season where there are some changes, but not only that, I just don't have the bandwidth to do too much right now. So currently, or before, I was in a plotter, Bible, and there were pros and cons to it, right? So I absolutely loved how thin it is. These dividers are made by me. But yeah, so like I loved how thin it was, but what I realized after using it for about 2 weeks was that I was only using two sections, 2.5 sections out of the 5. So my first section in this plotter was my weeks, and these are inserts from Haru plans. And so I was using this because I need a weekly overview, right? So I can figure out, hey, what are your events for the week? So I needed that. So I was always referencing that. And then the second part that I absolutely had joy doing was my daily logs. And my daily logs, I was using inserts from the Ghosting Pen by Lindsay Scribbles. And this was super fun because it forced me to draw and sketch. And then I did that for about like a week and then stopped. This was a perfect size for it. But I realized one thing with this is doing more of my daily logs and sketching here meant that I was not reaching for my journaling in my standard, and that was kind of a non-negotiable for me, at least. I really do love my standard TN, and I don't want to leave that system. So if one out of the 2 was going to be chucked, it was going to be this one, because I don't really love particularly how Rings inserts gets archived. I do have a binder from Plotter, but it's not really my favorite. So I ended up just stopping this because I was only using those 2 sections and maybe a little bit of my finance section, which is starting here, but I can't show you the rest of it. There's reference things for like my doctor stuff, pet stuff, and car things, but I was really not using it very much. It was kind of just there. And when I used ring planners a long time ago, I would have all the things and all the inserts, but I'm just not that person anymore, and I don't need all that stuff on a daily or weekly even basis. So as much as the cover is just divine and I love it, it just wasn't, like, I just felt like I was wasting a lot of the space here. And again, that whole standard TN versus plotter, if I was gonna journal in one thing, I would choose the standard TN because it's so much nicer to archive, and I've been in it since January and I wanted to keep it going. So this went out the window. So I put that to the side. It is still a contender for next year, but I just decided for right now I'm gonna put it to the side. So that brought me to my next question of what do I want to use, right? And so the big thing, that the parameters that I am basing my choices on are the things that I have at home. I am not allowed, I guess, but I don't want to spend any more money to find a system that I have not tried yet. I'm kind of past that point. I've done a lot of testing and trying and things like that, and I just want to use what I have. I'm also on a severe budget based on the things going on in my life right now, and I don't have it in right now to go buy more weeks or more covers or more anything. So I have plenty of things at home, so I want to use what I have. So naturally I looked at the weeks, which I forgot to bring here. It's over on my shelf, but the weeks, I don't use the monthlies, and I could use the weeks, but I just decided, I set up a weeks and then my undated Soft Paper Studio weekly diary, and I didn't have the bandwidth to deal with it. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go with just a smaller size, something that will keep me functional, something that will get me to get the things that I need to get done. And yeah, since this is my joy in terms of like memory keeping and journaling, I need a planner, which for me is not necessarily, it can be creative, but right at this moment, it's not. It just needs to help me get my shit together. And so I decided to go with the smallest size for me, which is Passport. I could go mini, I guess, but anyways, I'm a little all over the place. I apologize. I decided to go with my Passport TN size, and that was what I decided about last night. So it's a pretty fresh decision. We'll see how it goes for the next remaining month and couple of months. But if it goes well, then I'll go into 2026 with this system. But with the Passport size, just because, again, I don't have the bandwidth to do too much right now, I decided, this goes with me everywhere. I decided to do the thicker notebook that I already had, and I had set up earlier when I was in Passport TN. So it's a bullet journal in the Passport TN size. And I will say that just the sheer joy of filling up the pages faster is definitely a dopamine hit, which is going to help me stay in the size for sure. These are some of my older spreads that I did when I was last in it. So I do like this system because I can do my daily logs, which is my weeklies, and my daily logs are my absolute like needs for planning, and then the occasional notes pages for packages or things that I need to destash, just like notes pages. So I set up September, put some stickers down. I set up the weeklies where I just write the appointments and events, and then set up for the next. So I do all the weeklies. I draw in all the weeklies first for the month, and then I go into the dailies. And what I'm trying this time is, I used to do just a running, is it called a running log of daily logs? So like, you know, when I would finish one daily log, I would go into the next one. But the problem with that is, if I did need to plan future things, it would kind of make it hard for me, because I would have to guesstimate or guess how much space that I would need to finish that day and then go to the next one. So instead, what I'm doing is like one page per day. Yeah, there we go. And so I have Wednesday here, Thursday, and then if it's a ton of extra space, that's fine. I can adjust. Maybe I'll do 2 days per page, which is technically what I found to be the case in the past weeks, about 2 days per page. But anyways, yeah, so I've got some stickers in here and stuff like that, but oh my god, it's so funny. Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing the one book for my bullet journaling and my passport for planning, and then these are just some covers that I thought, I was like, I could either do that or I could split it between smaller inserts, just depends. So this one is the same, essentially the same thing, right? But I just have everything in a dotted grid. And so this would be my daily log book. And then this is just because I really like this insert. This is the Traveler's Notebook dated horizontals, but this is more so like kind of memory keeping. I don't know why I brought this out. Did I just want to show it? Maybe I just wanted to show it. But yeah, I do want to update this because I did do a lot of this last year. I stopped in March, but I did January through March and stopped. But anyways, yeah, so I'm thinking I'll stick to this for the planning for right now, because that's all I really have the energy to do, because this will get me to finish the things that I need to get done, my tasks. At some point, if this is too thick, maybe I'll go into this. I don't really need a monthly because I do a lot of my monthly planning in a iCalendar. So that's like the first thing I look at. When I wake up in the morning, I pull up my iCalendar, look at my stuff that's going to go on for the week and month, and then I go into my planner, look at all the things, plug it in into the weeks, and then go from there. So I never need a monthly. They look beautiful and they're aesthetic, but I never actually use a monthly in any of my paper planners. If you ever see me with one, it is mostly aesthetic purposes, unless I'm in a mini size, which sometimes I use, like a mini 5. Sometimes I'll use that just because it's like so little. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, so in terms of planning, I am, for right now, I'm not going to say 2026 because I don't even know what's going to happen in a week from now. So for right now, I am in a passport TN, bullet journaling, one book, might turn into 2, smaller inserts, but anyways, one book for bullet journaling for passport TN, and then my trusty and true standard TN for my journaling. And so I'll do a flip of this and then my inserts at some point. I think that'll be kind of fun to see all the journal spreads, and you can see like how it is not perfect, but I think that's what makes it really fun. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I need desperately a sip of my coffee. But yeah, I'm sorry if I said too many times. I'll get better at that. Maybe I'll have to edit it out if I know how to. Yes, anyways, thanks for joining me. Hopefully you like this kind of chatty, longer video, 18 minutes ish, 19. But I will see you guys in the next video. Keep creating and have a lovely day. Bye guys.